For nearly 35 centuries, the Chinese have kept carefully dated, detailed, and reliable records. This is Jinhua village in central China. It is in this bucolic atmosphere that I find remnants of another ancient Chinese technology that dates from the 2nd century BC: paper. Villagers here in Jinhua earn their living by making paper the traditional way, sheet by sheet. Gathering the material they use to make paper is as simple as going into the backyard. The villagers use bamboo, which grows in abundance on these mountainsides. Workers cut the bamboo down, dry it, and chop it into chips. Then they steam the chips until they're crumbly and moist. Next, the bamboo is soaked in bleach and ground into a thick mush. Once the mush is white, they grind it again into liquid pulp, perfect for paper. 3 centuries ago, the process took 100 days. Now it takes a week. Once they've suspended the pulp in a vat of water, they use screens to gather a thin layer and then lay the new paper out to drain with one sweeping, elegant motion. This family has been making paper here for 14 generations, nearly 300 years. In the beginning, paper wasn't anywhere near as thin as these sheets drying on the wall. In fact, people used the earliest paper to make blankets and clothing accessories. Eventually, the Chinese refined the process and created a smooth, thin material, ideal for writing. 1,000 years later, long before the West had even started making paper, the Chinese were already working on a new idea: the printed word. Printing was an idea that flourished around 1000 AD, once again during the Song dynasty. From then on, information could be easily duplicated and distributed. This is Qingming Riverside Park in Kaifeng. If you can look beyond the tourists with their video cameras and their cell phones, every detail in this park, the architecture and the costumes, is an exact replica of what life was like here in the 11th century. I'm here because scattered throughout this park are hints of China's technological past, at a time when Kaifeng was a lively centre of trade and commerce. And the reason why this park is so authentic is because it was modelled after a 16-foot-long scroll by artist Zhang Zeduan. He captured a snapshot of ancient Kaifeng during his lifetime, detailing Song lifestyle, costume and architecture. Today the park is one of the few places where ancient tools and techniques are still alive, including the first methods of print, a simple process which revolutionized the intellectual world. What we're seeing here is the process of printing from a woodcut. Now, all a woodcut is a piece of wood with the image you want carved in reverse. You take ink, apply it to the wood, put on your piece of paper, apply pressure, and you have a printed image. Having come up with the woodcut, the Chinese then ran with the idea. They made small woodcuts with individual characters inscribed on the back. They had invented, in other words, movable type. It was another critical invention that arose during the Song dynasty. But the reason movable type didn't take off in China was that instead of using a few dozen letters, they used thousands of characters, each one representing a different word. This obstacle limited the use of movable type, but printing continued. It was in China that the information age truly began. By 812 AD, the Chinese had combined two of their greatest innovations, paper and printing, to produce a third. It comes in all shapes and sizes, makes the world go round, and it is, of course, paper money. Now, the Chinese called it flying money because it flew out of their pockets, which is a problem I still have. However, it was destined for a very long career. Western Europe got its first printed money in Sweden in 1661. The US wouldn't see printed money until 1690.